Hi again, YouTubers. So this is a review on the Eve Pearl, the Eye Palette, 6 Radiant Eyeshadows in the color All Natural. This is the packaging. You can see my camera in there. And then that is the back of it. This packaging is fairly nice. It's plastic, but it feels very resilient. It does come with 6 different shades. I think it had a little brush, but I think I lost it because I don't remember where it was. I do have this on right now. I will say that I thought I was recording as I applied this, but I wasn't. So I will try and do that and put it in here somewhere. But if I don't get a chance to do that, I wanted to put this review up for you guys anyway. I will swatch the colors for you here. It does have one line of colors that have a slight shimmer to them and a slight sheen to them. And that is this line right here. There, and then there's also a line that is matte colors, and I used every single color today when I did my eyes. So there you go. Those are the had some fallout. I will say I am pleasantly surprised by this palette. They can be purchased typically on Eve Pearl's site. However, what I did and what I would suggest to you to do is the palette is normally $40. I purchased mine on Hautelook, or Hautelook. I always forget how to say that. And I actually got it for, I think, $28, I think it was, which is a really great deal instead of $40. And so I got it in. I was surprised originally by the size of it. I think typically of a palette, like, let's show you. It's just different in size, but again, it has 6 shadows as opposed to 4, and they're definitely, I don't know, it's similar, but I was just a little bit surprised. I think it's also very thin. I think that might be my issue. Felt a little funny at first. Just felt different size-wise. But, you know, whatever. That part's not a big deal. It's how it performs. And I will say, here is what I have on my eyes. I will walk you through that quickly. I took this matte brown shade here and used it originally on the crease. Then I went through with this middle gold color and put it on the lid. And then I took this color and put it into the lower portion of the crease. Okay, and then the gold color, put that up on my brow bone and on the inner corner. I then took the burgundy kind of color and put it on the lower outer corner. And then I blended them all with this same taupey color. And then I went back in and deepened the outer corner up with this color. I then also took the deepest color, put it on my lower lash line on the outer part, the gold color on the middle portion, and then the more light gold color on the inner portion in through the tear duct and out just a little bit. And I really like it. I was impressed with how nicely they applied and how easy they were to work with. The only downside is the, oh, I just wiped that all over my pants. I didn't mean to do that. I put my hand down like this with the swatches on it. I will say a couple things about this palette is that the darker colors do have a large amount of fallout, but make sure you tap off your brush ahead of time. However, I find that after I have applied them, if I pack it on and then I touch it with a blending brush, the problem is it almost blends too much, if that makes sense. It doesn't stay put. It has too much movement to it, and it makes that a little bit difficult to get a precise eye. So if you are someone who doesn't like that really blended out look, then this palette is probably not for you. But if you are someone like me that really likes a blended out look, this is a great palette for that, because it just slowly blends everything in and kind of blows it out and makes it look very diffused as opposed to very placed. So that is a key part of just how that works. I mean, just to give you an idea, I touched my hand down on my jeans. That's all I did, and it kind of, a lot of it fell off, if you can see what I mean by that. So that's what I mean by it becomes very, very diffused. But I think overall for $28, I think this is a nice palette. It's a decent palette, but for $40, I think it's a little bit overpriced. So I guess it just depends on where you get the palette. Pigmentation on these, I would say, is middle of the road. It's 3 out of 5 for me, simply because I find them easy to apply However, as I said, the pigmentation has a lot of fallout and it almost diffuses too easily, so it doesn't remain pigmented, so as when you originally put it on or swatch it. So that's a key part there. Texture, they're very nice and very soft and creamy and easy to work with, so they're a good 4 out of 5. Longevity. Here's where I'm a little bit up in the air as well. I used the same primer, my Benefit Stay Don't Stray primer. I use the same primer with every shadow I use unless I use a colored base. Like, my primer is always the same. I love that primer. It is my favorite primer. So longevity, it just kind of, same thing. It just kind of faded a little bit over time. So I'm going to give the longevity just a 2 out of 5. Application, it was easy to apply except for the fact that it continually had to be added into and added onto, and if I wanted like the darker in the crease, I really had to do that quite a few times. So application is just kind of a middle of the road for me, a 3. Packaging, I think it's nice. I was a little thrown off at first at how tiny it was, but actually it would be nice just to take and throw in a bag or a gym bag, a school bag, a travel bag, whatever have you. It should just be nice for that. So the packaging I really like. It's a good 4 out of 5. Price, as I said, it depends. So for $28, I think it's kind of a 3.5. For $40, I think it's like a 2. So it kind of depends on if you can get it at that Hautelook or not. So product overall, I'm going to say, see, because I like the looks I get with this palette. I like the way my eyes look right now, but I feel like I could replicate that with other products that diffuse, like I can make them give me this look. I'm glad I have this. I will definitely continue to use it, but I don't think for overall I would purchase another one because of this one. So I just think it's like a 2.5. It's not something I would tell. If somebody asked me, what's one good palette to get? This would not be something that would come to mind when I do that. So I hope you found this review helpful on the Eve Pearl. Again, the eye palette, 6 radiant eyeshadows in all natural. Again, you can purchase them at evepearl.com or at Hautelook. I will try and put a link below of where you can find it at Eve Pearl. I'm not going to be able to get a Hautelook what's that called, link, because when the sale is up, it's up, and you can't find a link for that. So that is my thoughts on this product. You guys let me know if you have any other questions, and thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.